September begins National Suicide Prevention Month, a time to educate, discuss, and perhaps a reminder to check in with your loved ones. Suicide is a leading cause of death in the United States, with rates rising in the Black community faster than any other racial or ethnic group in the past 2 decades. Suicide among Black males increased by 60%, and in 2014, 80% of suicides in the Black community were by men. So the numbers are startling. And joining me now is a DC-based filmmaker who's aiming to spark healthy conversations within the Black community about mental health. Malachi E. Anderson, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. And you are doing this through a film that you created called Black X. First off, why is this topic so important to you?
Really just because, this story stemmed from journal entries that I wrote a little bit over 10 years ago, almost exactly 10 years ago this year. And it was just me pouring myself into just notes, and some of it can be poetry, some of it was songwriting and just different ways to express myself. And not knowing that I was expressing myself, releasing, the things I was going through, 10 years ago, and going through spiritual journeys and mental health journey, going to therapy and having a family and just building myself, growing myself, releasing and evolving, I was able to turn the story into something that was at one point traumatic, and I left that journal down for about 8 years, and then I picked it up 2 years ago, and I was just like, I can do something with this, and I want other people to do that, other people that look like me. I want them to be able to turn their trauma and their anything that they're dealing with, turn it into something positive that can eventually help other people to, do the exact same thing, release and express themselves.
Why do you think we've seen such a rise in mental health concerns and suicides within the Black community?
Really, I think it's coming to a point where, somewhat of a boiling point. I think the pandemic somewhat ripped the Band-Aid off of a lot of things that we held internally. And for me, that was that experience for me. In 2020, the Band-Aid ripped off, and I'm about to bring in my firstborn into the world, and I felt like this urgency to address something. I didn't know what, but again, I found this journal and was able to really just become who I am today, through going to therapy, having healthy discussions, revisiting a lot of things that happened in the past and being able to learn from it. And again, use that experience as a way to help myself heal, which is number one, and two, help others do the exact same thing.
When you see people, like we just shared the story with John Wall, and somebody that we think has it all and has so much money and this incredible career in the NBA, say that he got to a point where he was thinking of suicide. What do you think of when somebody comes out like that with such, held in such high accord amongst everybody to talk about it?
It's such an interesting topic. You can take it from different approaches, but I like to think of mental health, and in John Wall's perspective is, it's almost looking at an iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg, and it's just the tip, and you think, oh, he's going through an Achilles injury. I believe that was the case, and below the surface, it's his mother passing and other things going on, and whatever else may have been going on in his life. And I felt that personally, because my life was feeling like an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is just this one trigger, but below the surface, it's 10,000 other things that I'm like burying, and all of a sudden it just burst, and it can, relate. It can come into being a suicide attempt, or it can become a panic attack, anxiety attack, or acting out, accordingly. So it's an interesting topic, and it's, again, a conversation that needs to be had.
I think sometimes we just need to talk about it more and talk about it more. Real quick, Black X, your film, and you have a big art exhibit this weekend. What can people expect? And then come out and check it out.
Oh man, so the venue is DuPont Underground, and if anyone's ever been to DuPont Underground, it's a completely interesting space to have an art exhibit. It's an underground train station. It used to be an underground train station, and I've converted it into an immersive art exhibit. So huge projections of this film that I created, and I broke it up into pieces. It tells a story throughout the exhibit, and at the end of the exhibit, you actually watch the screening of the film. And again, it pulls from my journal entries, and I just created this 15-minute story to just tell my life.
Well, we appreciate you creating this. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
putting it out there. Have a great event this weekend. And again, check out the Black X exhibit and film Friday, September 2nd in the DuPont Underground. You can see the exhibit all weekend long. Malachi, we appreciate you.